Hello fire signs, welcome. Second half of January readings, Aries, Sagittarius and Leo this time. And as always, these are general readings, so they will not resonate with everyone. If you feel like this time your sun sign reading doesn't have a message for you, you can check out your moon, rising, Venus sign reading, or any reading that calls your name. And if you want information on the decks or anything related to the reading, including or private readings, there's a lot of stuff in the description box. There's also timestamps, so you can skip ahead to your reading if you don't want to watch the whole video. Also, general warning that cats are, as always, very active right now because I'm doing readings. Somehow that triggers them into a rally mode, so there might be weird sounds on the background. And yes, thank you so much for joining me for this brief moment for these readings. I really appreciate that. I hope your January has been wonderful so far, and I hope it continues like that. Let's see what comes up. So let's start with Aries. Let's see what's going on with Aries. I'm going to get some theme from this deck. A couple of cards. Let's see what this reading is about. For Aries, we have new beginning. It's wonderful. Let's get one more. Grieving. Interesting. I was thinking about that card. Cancer had it as well. I don't know why. These two cards have actually been in several readings, though. That's why I was thinking about it, but it's weird that it came up again. New beginnings and grieving. Okay, so as always, new beginnings means ending of something else. One door closes, another door opens, and whenever something has to be left behind, it's always a point that feels bad, usually. And or whatever it's related to, whatever you have to leave behind, there is a grieving process. Even if it is something like a way of thinking or even a bad habit, it's like we grow very used to, very comfortable in our bad habits. So it might be really complicated leaving that behind. So with this card, definitely remember to do the grieving process properly, completely, fully embracing every emotion that you get from this. They will and should range from happy to devastated, and that is all very normal and needs to be felt and dealt with and processed and accepted and then let go, so that you can move on to this new beginning without any baggage, unnecessary baggage, without anything pushed down and hidden, because then it will most likely resurface at the worst possible moment and just completely ruin or at least hinder your new path. So if you are looking at something new, definitely make sure that whatever you can take with you on this new path, you deal with completely before moving on. Let's see what the tarot says about this. A couple of cards. Aries, Hangman, This Hangman is immediately reminding me to not focus on, I mean, it's not immediate, but try to remember when you're letting go of something, when you're doing this grieving process, that remember that there is a lesson in something. If it was a negative thing, we can grieve also negative things, leaving our life. There is a lesson in everything. So try to look at it from that perspective. Try to make it, see the silver lining, basically. Also, there is something that I really love this saying. How does it go? Don't cry because it ended. Smile because it happened. That kind of... Ooh. And okay, as well, that kind of positive thinking. I don't want to say like love and light, but trying to see the positive and not solely focusing on how bad it feels that it ends now. It probably does. With the craving card being here, there is something that you need to let go of, and it really is quite a painful process. But then shifting your gaze into this new doorway, this new path, this new beginning, and focusing on that. We have the 7 of Air, so 7 of Swords. And in this deck, this card represents people-pleasing. And more specifically, the end of that. Focusing more on what you want. I know the 7 of Swords can be a very, very nasty, sneaky card. But to me, it's more tactic. Really being smart in the way that you move forward. Everything here is very strategic, kind of seeing things from different perspectives, tactics and strategizing. And we have the King of Pentacles, which is also very solid and sure of what he's doing. Not doing things just for doing them, but having that plan and that goal and the focus. So there might be, the way that these are this way, if it was the other way, it would be a little more positive, but this grieving process might be slightly blocking moving forward. So you need to be sure that everything is dealt with, like I was saying, before you move on. So that when you start walking on this new path, your footsteps are looking at this, determination. You're 100% sure of what you're doing, where you're going, how you're going to go about it. There is absolutely no hesitation. There is absolutely no regrets or guilt related to it. Can't say at all what this could be about. You know it better. Take it however it resonates, whatever situation it fits in your life. Like I said, it doesn't need to be something drastic. It can be something very subtle as well, like a way of thinking or a new habit, eating healthier. But you can't have the burger every Friday, and that might be a problem. Whatever it is for you. Okay, Aries, that is what I have for you this time. It was a very specific message. Just really focus on dealing with everything properly, not shoving it down, not postponing dealing with it, just really dealing with it. And then moving past it and forward. Thank you for joining me for this. I hope this was helpful. I hope you will join me again soon. Next up we have Sagittarius. Let's see what's going on with you. Let's get some theme or focus for the reading from this deck first. Okay, there's one. Let's get another one. There we go. We have, psychic abilities. And transformation. That's quite something. I love the colors in these two cards, first of all. So someone might be psychically, intuitively, spiritually leveling up, which is wonderful. Or at least this is a very good time for that if you've been wondering about taking a next step. Or even just reading more about different paths, or in some way kind of furthering on that research, even not necessarily putting any practice yet, but something related to intuition, spirituality, psychic abilities, dealing with the shadow as well. Very, very good time for that right now. You might be also getting some messages, or just like in normal everyday life, I would say that it mainly shows up as very heightened intuition. Like if you're not used to this kind of experiences, it's like something just like you just know what is going to happen and then it happens. That kind of thing. Or that it seems like you're reading someone's mind or things like that. Might be coming up for you in this period. With this transformation, it does seem like it's more personal experience. Well, that's quite interesting. I really like that for you, Sagittarius. It would be really interesting to know how that comes up for you. So definitely leave comments if that happens. Let's get something from the tarot then regarding this. Other cards want to pop out, but they don't pop out. Here we got love. Okay. Traditionally more Gemini energy, but it's in this deck it is Leo energy. Lovers. In this deck it's love. How many is that? Is it just two? Just two. That's wonderful. Let's take it. We have Two of Pentacles and Knight of Wands, so Messenger of Fire. Very muted and grounded colors on these cards then, in contrast to these kind of psychedelic colors. With this Two of Pentacles, it is kind of a juggling card. It feels like you might feel like there's a lot of feeling going on. It seems like you might feel like you're between two worlds with the psychic abilities happening here. Transformation to me in here is really speaking about shadow work as well. Very Scorpio energy. So you might feel like you're between two worlds, like you try to be present in reality, in your work, in your socializing with other people, but like your head is just somewhere. You're just out there somewhere picking up different vibes and energies and messages and everything. So it might be difficult for you to ground at this time. The Lovers here, it's a very harmonious energy. Kind of feels like you might want to really stay connected with your partner or anyone who is kind of that your person, or an animal, just someone who really keeps you grounded, and focus on that dynamic, that relationship, that connection, so you don't get lost in this. Also with this Messenger of Fire, this Knight of Wands, I get, because Knight of Wands is a very active card, I linked it to, kind of instinctively linked it to another card from another deck that I'm not using now at all. There's a card called Movement in the Threads of Fate Oracle. And again, very active card, a very literal in the meaning, moving. So that you don't get stuck in your head and that intuition. Or also actively pursuing whatever goals you have set for this, or like I said, research and everything, really going for it. Not being afraid. It might feel like a lot, but just going for it, because like I said, it feels like it's a very good time for that right now. Just as long as you also keep grounded and don't completely lose yourself in it, because then, you know, you might emerge just completely like out of touch with everything, and the real world just passes by like it's nothing. That is quite a message for Sagittarius. I think that's all I have to say about this, really. It can be quite a specific one for a general reading. It feels like it's very specific, maybe to a couple of people only, but I hope this was helpful for someone. Do let me know if it resonates. It's a very, very interesting reading. And thank you for joining me for this. I hope I'll see you all soon. And finally we have Leo. Let's see what's going on with you. Let's get a couple of cards from this deck first as kind of a theme or a focus for the reading. For Leo, oh, transformation. It was just out for Sagittarius. Okay, we have 3. Take them all, it's fine. The transformation was just out for Sagittarius. If you have Sagittarius placements, or you're dealing with a Sagittarius, do check that out as well. So we have transformation, lighten your load, and justice. Okay, so it feels like you might have been carrying quite a lot on your shoulders, and it's time to change that, like completely just flip that script completely And this justice feels very karmic here. Like it's you just letting karma do its work. Like people who have been taking advantage of you somehow or putting their burdens on you, like just you deal with this. You're just kind of dropping it and letting whoever dumped it on you pick it up from there. Which of course no one needs to carry other people's burdens. That is completely a big no-no. Also a big Libra. Libra energy here and some Scorpio here. This is not a tarot deck, but they do have that energy for me. So definitely stop to pleasing people, focusing on your own problems, focusing on your own life, basically. And whoever this is for definitely feels like this is completely the opposite of what you've been doing before. Also, another possibility is you can be a very, very closed off person in a way, and now this letting your load might be to actually open up to someone. And that could be the transformation, to be vulnerable, to be open to sharing that with someone. And restoring your inner balance as well. And also feels like harmony in a relationship or connection. Like if it doesn't need to be a relationship, like a romantic relationship, it can be a friendship as well, or even your mother or sister, whatever. If there's been any kind of tension in it, maybe it's been because you haven't been completely open. And they can sense that something is wrong with you, but you just don't want to share it. And now it's time to actually let that, let those feelings out. Share what is on your mind. Share your own burdens. Okay. We have Judgment. And the star came out this way. Let's see. Let me just see the energies here. Let's get one more. And for Leo. We have the World. We just have Major Arcana here, okay? This is really a big transformation. Whoever this is for, you have quite a January to look for here. We have Judgment, and in here it's Call and World, so it's really like the last points of a cycle, and it's a very transformative cycle. You really learned the lessons that are there to be learned this time, feels like. Or at least be sure that you do. Because the star does have kind of an energy, so it's not exactly upright. I'm gonna keep it like this, okay? If you've been watching my readings for a while, you know that I don't exactly have reversed cards in the deck. I don't do reverse, but sometimes they come out reversed, and I usually do that, but I want to keep it this way. But it's because it's not exactly reversed energy. It's just kind of there, like, be careful with this. Make sure you follow your own star, your own focus. There might be some people that, if they've been dumping their burdens on you, they will want to keep dumping them on you. Even if you come out saying, like, no, by the way, I'm not doing that anymore, they might be like, are you so sure about that? That's being very rude and selfish and all that. And with this world here, I noticed that there is a little keyhole over there. It's like a completely new book. It's not even a new chapter. You're just putting that book away and you're picking up a completely empty book and starting from there, from the first page, just something completely new. Just kind of want to give a warning that make sure that you're not doing this like on a whim. You really invest in making this a permanent transformation, because it seems like it's a really good transformation. Whether it is not letting people dump their burdens on you or being vulnerable and opening up to other people, letting them in. This is a very, very brave thing to do, to be vulnerable as well. And it's justice and the balance here as well. Like, for someone to put their, not necessarily dump, but like if someone comes to you for advice and to share their burdens, to tell you what is going on, it should be mutual, right? You should also be able to tell them what is going on. And that might actually test a couple of friendships here and there. If it's being very one-sided and now you want to make it, want to be vulnerable to them as well, and they might be like, ooh, I don't want to know that. Why are you telling me this? Because you've been their confidant, but that's it. So this kind of transformation does bring out the true friends as well. So that might also be what the star here is a little iffy about. But nonetheless, I would say go for it. It sounds like a very, very good transformation. Very good lesson. So that is wonderful for you, Leo. I really like that reading. I hope this was helpful for someone. Thank you for joining me for this. And I hope I'll see you all soon. And that was all fire sign readings. This time. So take care.